speakers?
Speakers,
And more speakers. When we talk about branding, there's nobody that hits the brand locally harder than Mark Z does. He owns the TV airwaves, he owns the radio airwaves, he owns the billboards all over the place. You can't help but see his brand everywhere. And on top of that, the guy's got his name on a big building right here. So he's taking it to a whole nother level. So let me introduce to you, without further ado, Mark Z.
Thank you. What about Gogo?
No, right here.
You guys are supposed to come out from there. You came out from the back.
Oh.
Hi.
I'll introduce your other speaker in just a moment.
We're rookies, guys. We're rookies. All right. Please, you can introduce. No.
Well, so we're going to start off with two speakers. So locally, I just told you who he is. This guy named Mark Z, who brands himself better than anybody locally. The other speaker of today, the guest that we have for you today, is Gogo Bethke. Gogo owns the international branding, the national branding, local branding when it comes to social media, the outlets. If you've got your name out there plastered, people can find you, she's found. So most everybody in here is either following her or has seen her posts and seen what she's got out there. So nobody brands themselves on that scope better than Gogo Bethke. So if I get a little love and a little round of applause for also Gogo Bethke. So that's your panel for today. We're going to go through the branding. That was no problem. We did that really smooth. So what we're going to do is start off with first, let's have you hear how and why, and how did you brand yourself, and why are you here? How did that all come about, Mark?
You know, my branding is very expensive, and that's why, you know, when I brought Gogo into EXP, she brought a whole different branding element to real estate. In today's day and age, if I was to do it over again, God, I would love to be able to have the ability and the resources that Gogo uses. And I think it's much more practical to be able to tell you guys a lot of the things that Gogo does, because the stuff she does doesn't cost a lot of money, right? And you can use her platforms and all the things that she does to get to a point where you can start doing some media in mass capacity, start hitting the radio airwaves and TV airwaves and get to that point. But you can't start in the reverse order, meaning you can't start with TV and radio because those mediums are very, very expensive. An average TV spot costs us anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for one spot. So you can do the math on those. That means you air one time a day, which will not do anything, right? There's a happy medium. When I first started off doing radio and TV, I said, how do people do this? This is garbage, this doesn't work, right? It's because I wasn't doing enough frequency. You've got to get inside of people's heads, and that's why we use the jingle. The jingle is actually more responsive than what we're actually saying. If you ask people, you guys have all heard of like Summit Place Kia, right? Who's heard of Summit Place Kia? Everybody, right? Does anybody even remember what the ad says? Did you? No? But you can sing that jingle in your head, right? I'm not going to sing it for you guys. I was going to. I just thought about it right now. I'm not going to do that. So let's start off the presentation with Gogo telling you all the things that she does that are very low cost that everybody can walk out of here and do immediately. Now, whether you're going to or not, it's up to you. But I'm amazed by how Gogo has built an audience and how she's built her marketing platforms, and they don't cost a lot of money. So I kind of feel silly doing the stuff that I do, only because in my head, I can't wrap myself around doing all the things that Gogo does. And she's going to go through that and tell you guys that it'd be silly for you guys not to do what she does. You just got to wrap your mind around the fact that it's work, right? It's business. So Gogo, without further ado, please let us know, tell us a little about what you do.
Thank you guys. So yes, my name is Gogo Bethke. My real name is June Juliet. Nobody can say that. My parents didn't know I'm going to live in the US. So I had to choose a name that would be more fitting and something that people would remember. So I came to the country as an au pair. My host parents at the time, we only communicated on email address, and they couldn't. My email was KGYOGYO. It was my original middle initial, and then GYOGYO, my nickname from home. So they were the one originally asking me if they can call me Gogo, and I never heard of the Gogo Girls. So I said, sure, that's fine. And then after that, when I got into, I worked corporate America. Everybody that knows me from corporate America age, they actually know me as Gwen, because GoGo was not professional answering the 1-800 phone line. It's the wrong 1-800 number. But when I got into real estate, I asked my friends, I said, do you guys think I could go by GoGo? I feel like GoGo. I don't feel like a Glenn. So I wanted to be able to market myself and be myself, being GoGo. And that's how the GoGo name came about. So I'm originally from Romania. I speak 3 languages. My original language is Hungarian, so that's why I have an accent. I'm a mom of 2, dad of 3.
Yeah, dad
of 3. So my goal with this whole real estate gig is that I want to be able to still continue having a life and going to be able to do it while I'm sleeping so that I'm not always working. And this is where the whole social media came in, because if you can build yourself a presence, that presence, if you think about it, you shoot that 5-second video that thousands of people are going to watch it on their own time. So you're not doing it thousands of times, you're doing it once, and you have the ability to reach thousands of people. The sky's the limit. So that's why social media came about to me, and to be honest with you, it's because I didn't have tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to market. I had about $6 to my name when I got my license.
Yeah.
So I was, yes.
Sorry to cut you off. They can't hear you. They're near the. Does anyone move up or speak louder or something?
Better?
No?
Okay.
You want to speak up? Come over here? Maybe
Maybe
come
move
forward.
up.
Yeah, before I kind of have to see a little bit of a slide.
They're near the generators. So they can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry guys, did you miss it?
No,
I'm
no,
from here.
guys, move your chairs up. Guys, move your chairs
Start
up.
all over.
No, just come a little bit closer, just so we can see the
Yeah,
slide.
I kind of have to see the slides to remind me what I need to talk about.
So, Gogo, do you remember when you first did your first post? I mean, I'm sure it started off with what, 20, 30, 50 views, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time, and that's why so many people, when they come to, is like, well, I did a video and I don't have my leads coming in. And it doesn't work like that. I seriously did the math. I sat down one day and I did the math. I said, okay, I did 40+ million in my career. Originally, when I got my license, my oldest got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so I didn't work for the first year. Second year, my kids were still young. I only worked very part-time. And then after that, when my kids went back to school, I had a long-term goal. When I got into real estate, I got in at the foreclosures and short sales. So I knew getting in that if I can run or learn the business at the bottom, and it's the shittiest, excuse my French, then I should be able to run a full-time business by the time my kids are in school full-time. So that's how
When did you start in the social media? When did you start
so
posting?
I started on Facebook first. So Facebook was my go-to profile. I created GoGo's Real Estate pretty much right away as I got my license, and that's where I would post pretty much anything real estate related. And at first I kept it very real estate related. And now through the years you learn, through those different posts of what's working, what's not, because you see it, and their likes and comments and all that. You see what's working, you see the recognition, and then you just keep doing more of that. So some of the things that most agents go wrong is if you post the last listing you got and the last closing and anything just house, your clients, if you think about it, are on the market every 7 years for about 6 months and they're done with real estate. They don't want to know the last house that came on the market. So you have to make it about you. So the brand, my goal is to teach you that people choose to work with you because they want to work with you. They don't care who your broker is. They don't care what umbrella you work under. Most people don't even understand that there has to be a broker. We do because you're in the business. So most of us, even I was like, well, it's, I'm with KW or I'm with Real Estate One, like it really made a difference. And your hustle and your hard work and your work ethic, it's really what's going to make the difference.
So when did this start? Like Facebook? When did you?
Facebook 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I started Instagram about, I would say probably the last 3 years. And the reason, if you guys follow me on both platforms, you will see that it's a little bit, one is different than the other. On Instagram, I started that because I was at a time in my career where I was ready to, can I say this, bitch a little bit? Because I'm about to head it in certain scenarios. And on Facebook, I had all my clients because that's who I was talking to. So if you see on Facebook, I talk mostly to clients, past clients, current clients. On Instagram, I talk about the real estate gig. So I have more followers on Instagram that are realtors than I would have actual clients. But your goal is to create yourself a brand, a name that anybody would recognize. So Mark Z's, you can't drive down on a highway without seeing his sign. Like I knew Mark Z before I ever met him. Like I knew of him before I ever actually heard his name somewhere because I saw his image so many times. And if I would have saw him at a grocery store, I would have known exactly who he is, even though I never met him. And that's your goal. Your goal is to have brand recognition, face recognition, so then when somebody is ready to sell a house or buy a house or they have any real estate needs, they know exactly who to call. Okay? So you have to start with your name. That's the most important part, to figure out who you are, how you want to sell real estate. I don't want to see your name as Jessica something on one platform and your hometown realtor on the other platform and your favorite REO agent on the third one, because then people are not going to be able to put it all together. So whatever your name is, mine is Gogo Betke, or Gogo's Real Estate, or Gogo's Bootcamp, or Gogo's whatever I ever come out with, it's always Gogo's something, because it's mine, it's my baby. And Mark's is Zold, right there, a big Z, because that is his style. So if you ever see a big Z, you right away, you close your eyes, you see it, you know that's Mark Z. And your goal is to be able to create that brand recognition, to stay top of mind. So this one, Christy, something's on the screen here. How do you make it go away? So back to that video I was telling you that I created. I did over, I think, 38,000 posts in the last 7 years. And that brought me about $40+ million worth of inventory. I don't pay for my leads. I don't have a Zillow account. I don't have...
How many posts a day, Gogo, would you say?
So that's about anywhere between 11 to 14 times a day.
11 to 14 times a day. I think she's underestimating. I think it's more like 20.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, what I call post is any way you touch someone. So my accounts are linked to each other. So when I post on Instagram will ask me automatically, do you also want to push this to Facebook? And now based on the content, I will push it to Facebook too. So that removes one step from your day-to-day doing. All you need to do is create those 2 accounts. So first thing, figure out your name. Then you're going to go on every platform and you're going to make sure that that name is available. You're not going to pick that name if that name is not available. Let's say you pick it on 2 platforms, but on Facebook somebody already owns it, you're out. Okay, so your very first thing is you're going to go on Facebook, you're going to go on Instagram, you're going to go on
When you say your name,
.com.
whatever your brand is going to be.
Exactly.
So your name might be Rich Smith, but that might not be what you're going to...
What if you're going to advertise as you're the best hometown realtor in Royton, Michigan, then that's going to be your brand. So whatever your name you decide to be, your brand, you want to make sure that it's available on every platform. In order to make sure that it's available on a .com, you have to go what's called GoDaddy.com. So you go on GoDaddy, you put in that name, it will tell you if it's already taken, it will also tell you if you can buy it from somebody. So that's another good way of doing business, just buy brand, just buy .coms and then sell it to somebody who needs it one day.
Does everybody here have all of their social media, their website, their email? You guys have that all connected, all one. That's step number 1. You guys get that? So your website domain should be your @email, right? So mine is, MarkZ at soldbymarkz.com because I own the domain soldbymarkz.com. Some of you in here probably have a Gmail or a Yahoo or @Keller Williams, @Coldwell Banker. If you guys have your company as your email, oh my God, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
It happened when I was with Coldwell Banker. They talked me into, we give you your free email address. You don't know any better. You get in, you think it's all cool. You got the company email, it's MarkZ at Coldwell Banker. Then when you leave, what happens?
Lose it all.
Lose it all. What are you going to do with all those emails? I don't know about you guys. Don't you guys search your emails? I got emails from 5 years ago I search and pull information up from. So get rid of those. Do not buy into that. They want you to have that because we talk to people all the time.
Because that's how they own you.
Yeah, they don't want to leave because they're like, I got thousands of emails. I can't leave because of my emails. I'm like, you're not going to leave because of your emails? But in reality, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. But you see it all the time. At Keller Williams, Coldwell Bank, Century 21. Big problem. Cut your losses now. Get them to all forward. Okay?
And don't take it the bad way. I'm proud to be an EXP agent. So it's not like I'm hiding the fact that I'm an EXP. You can go on any of my platforms. Big fat EXP logo is right on there. But at the same time, they allow me to brand me because that's what brings in the money on the door. That's what's going to bring you the next transaction. That's how EXP is going to make money, or your broker is going to make money, is by them allowing you to bring in the transactions out the door. Christy, what do I push? Oh, there we go. Okay.
That's another great thing, not to push EXP. But Keller Williams was the same way. I'll admit Keller Williams was pro team and pro brand. Some brokerages, like Coldwell Banker, Century 21, they're not going to allow you to brand yourself bigger than their name on the signs. Okay? For me, that's a problem. Coldwell Banker came down on me after I was with them for about 3 years and told me that they wanted theirs to be bigger than mine. I left the company because of it. For me, I look at it like our signs are free billboards. You get a listing, you get to put your name. I mean, what other profession can you go and put your name out so people can drive by, walk by, and see this name, this brand? For me, those signs are everything. If you were to dial back and said, you know, Mark, how did you become, how did it get so big? How did the brand? There you go. But honestly, the signs made my business. Now there's two parts to that. Don't think you're gonna go out and get some great sign and all of a sudden you're gonna blow up. I have 100 signs in the ground at all time. So you can have the nicest sign in the world. If you don't have a lot of them, who cares? No one's gonna see them. Okay, so it goes hand in hand. You gotta have a lot of signs in the ground, but then when people pass that sign, what good would it be if they were passing by my sign and all they seen was Coldwell Banker and then Johnson? You see this all the time. It drives me crazy. I see these agents and they're branding the company. Well, guess what? When someone calls that company, do any of you guys ever get the call? No.
Do you know there's a local brand, I'm not going to name what company that is, but they don't even allow the agents to have their names on the yard sign. It's
Absolutely.
the office broker's name and the office's phone number.
Absolutely.
You're
Now,
right there losing 50% of your business because you don't have a chance to tap into that buyer market.
and they do distribute the calls.
And then they sell it back to you on a percentage.
Yeah. The calls do come in, they do distribute them, but you don't get the calls. That's the problem. Because no one even knows who they're calling. They're just calling the sign on it, or the number on the sign. You guys have questions while we're going? Yeah, go ahead.
So didn't they just pass a law that you have to have the company's name as big as yours? Because I just recently did a video,
Yeah.
and great video, great feedback, but I did get called on my broker like you forgot to put my company's logo there, so I need to redo it. But even with the signs, it has to be like a certain size.
Yeah, absolutely. So we used to get called on this before. The brokers don't even know the law. So the law says that the brokerage name has to be as big, if not bigger, than the majority of the letters in your logo or name or sign, right? So if you look at the majority, the Z is not the majority. It's real estate experts, right? And so EXP is actually bigger than real estate experts. So that's how you get away with it. There's a loophole in every law. You just got to find it. Yeah. Yeah. So either real estate experts or Mark. On the wrong side. However they look at it, Mark or real estate experts.
The phone number doesn't matter.
EXP is bigger than real estate experts or Mark.
Just the name.
So it's the majority of the letters. And Z is not the majority, Z is one letter. So that's how you get away with it. Make sense? I give that credit to my attorney, Peter Jolson. So I was like, what am I going to do? Honestly, I wouldn't have even done a brokerage. I would have just done my own thing if it wasn't for that. That was that important. Again, brand, brand, brand. That's what we're talking about today, guys. Brand yourself.
So my goal with branding was, I remember my very first listing presentation, and it's just not, it probably comes easy to you, but it does not come easy to me to sell myself. If somebody asks me what I do.
Come on.
No, I can't. Like, if you meet someone and ask me what I do for a living, I'm like, I'm a realtor. And that's about it. You know, I don't want to, like, do you have any real estate needs? Or you think about buying or selling anytime in the future? I would love to be a realtor. It does not come easy to me. So for me, it became much easier to build my reputation where they find me first. So when I go into a listing presentation, it is not a competition. I don't even have a listing presentation. I never had a listing presentation. I go in there because they come, I can't go, we want to sell our house. Can you come over and tell us if we need to do anything, and then just put your yard sign and you're good to go. So when I go into, I no longer have to sell myself. I don't have to explain who I am and how I work and how much I charge. They know me, they chose me, so that's my goal with branding, is to give you that build your brand so you don't have to sell yourself. And so these are the signs. So let's go to photo. Photo, in my opinion, is just as important as your name. So after you decide your name and how you're going to run business, find a photo of yourself that is the best photo you ever taken after you put it through about 17 apps. Right here. So that's the best photo I have with taken after about who knows how many editing softwares you put it through. The goal is, until people recognize you of who you are, you're going to use that same photo on every single, just kidding. Sorry guys, this is so hard, but I just raise your hands truly if you can't hear me, because my natural tendency is to go back to my normal voice. So you're going to use that same photo on every single platform. You're going to go on LinkedIn, you're going to go on Facebook, your Instagram, your business, your whatever platform you're going to build a brand on, your yard signs, your billboards, your radio, TV, whatever you do, you're going to use that same photo everywhere. If you Google Mark Z, you're going to find this photo of him. This one. Everywhere. See? He uses that everywhere as well. So until you can close your eyes and see what Mark Z looks like, or close your eyes and see what I look like, that's your goal. Your goal is that anybody, when they say your name, will know exactly what you look like. You're going to use that photo until everybody recognizes you, until you have a brand. If you decide to change it, go ahead and change it, but then you change it on all platforms. You shouldn't have a different photo on your different platforms, or if you no longer look like that person. So if I decide to go back to my natural hair color, which is not this, then I would probably have to change my photo. So if I decide to be a brunette, whatever it is, if you aged or you no longer look like that person, you change it to be you, so people can recognize you. The photos, there's a few apps that I use if you guys want to write it down. It's very, very important for social media, especially to make sure your pictures are edited. You should not have blurry photos of your properties. You should not take iPhone photos of your properties. That is the first and most important expense you should have, and you owe that to your sellers by taking a little bit of risk and hiring a professional photographer to show photos of the property. So you're going to do the same thing of yourself. You know, you're not going to put up there a blurry photo. You're not going to put up there, you know, something that's not edited, that doesn't fit into your feed. You look at anything on your social media platforms, you look at your storefront. That is your business. You want people to come in. You want them to buy something. And in order for them to come into your store, you have to make sure that your storefront is pretty, so they will come in. Oh, the apps that I was telling you about. The one for face, that you want to remove eye bags or things like that, it's called Perfect 365. So when you're editing your profile photo, Perfect 365. Yes, but the one I know of, it does do a great job, but posts your videos upside down. Can't figure out why, so I wouldn't recommend it. The other one I use is called Darkroom if you have an iPhone, or Lightroom if you have Android.
And that's by Adobe.
Yeah. So it's Lightroom or Darkroom. The reason why I use those, you see, this is my storefront on Instagram. So if I decide to have like an orangish shade to my feed, then I'm going to use the same editing, what is that called? Filter? The filter. The same editing filter for a while. When I'm decided to switch, then I will switch, but then for that feed that you see about 9 photos on your screen, you are going to change that to the new filter, so you always stay consistent. This is one of my listings, and I use professional photography for. The company I use, it's called Vizzi, V-I-Z-Z-I. They are the only one that I found that is very, very affordable. I pay about, I think, $125 per photo, and they do an amazing job. They can put in a sky.
Per photo or per house?
But not just one photo.
Per house, right?
The house, yeah.
Yeah.
The house.
I was going to say,
No, I thought you guys were surprised how cheap it is. It is cheap. I mean, to shoot a house.
So wait a minute, is that one photo for one house?
One listing. Yeah. So they are the best one I found, the most reliable, and the cheapest I found on the market. And they're in 17 V-I-Z-Z-I. They're in 17 different states. So if you have a listing that you refer out, maybe you can tell the other agent, you know, I do give it to you for 25%, but then I want to make sure that you're using a professional photographer, because I don't want that one to sit on the market for 7 months before it sells. I mean, when you're doing referred out business. So logos. Logo is just as important as your photo. I paid a company to design my logo. I'm sure Mark, you paid a web designer, somebody. to design your logo. I mean, you'll have a say in it, of course, but you know, it should reflect on what feels right to you, and then you're going to use that on all of the platforms. If you're using the logo, yours, you have to use the brokers on the same content. So on your website, you can't just have your logo, you would have to have the broker's logo as well. So mine are usually just attached right to each other, so then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, they're right next to each other. So originally, 7 years ago, I started out with Real Estate One. Then last year in February, I switched to KW. And then last year, in November, I switched to EXP. So this is the evolution of my logos. We just changed out the broker. So again, you remember when I said close your eyes and imagine the Target logo, the Starbucks logo, the Amazon logo. That's the reason why you do it. I mean, I say Mark's name, you're probably going to see that big Z for the rest of your life, every time you close your eyes from now on. So that's your goal, is to be recognized on the market. So social media branding, the platforms that I use, even though my Facebook automatically feeds to Twitter, I do not use Twitter. I don't speak that level of English. So I logged out of Twitter a long time ago, but I do use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is amazing for business, guys. LinkedIn is starting soon, in my opinion, is a paid profile, just like Instagram for business. If you want to advertise, you have to pay. Facebook business, want to advertise, you have to pay. LinkedIn is working on that, in my opinion, because they allow you now to push your stuff that you post. I mean, I have posts on LinkedIn that has over 200,000 views. It's just a video. You know, I mean, the same video on Instagram probably has 4,000 or 5,000, and the same one on Facebook has probably 200. You know what I mean? So you have to use the platforms. You have to understand how they work, of how you can make yourself a name. I don't reach out to people. That is not my style. So I don't use LinkedIn to be like, do you have any real estate needs? Like, I don't do that. You know, I just post. I give information. And then one day, ready to pull the trigger, they call me. That's my comfort zone. Now, Mark, how do you use it? Probably very different.
Not LinkedIn specifically, but ours is more proactive. We're, I don't know if the word's aggressive. I guess you could say aggressive. You know, we're more proactive in calling. This whole business was built on prospecting, calling expireds, for sale by owners, our database, past clients. So, you know, we use it in different capacities, but the same thing. Got to be in front of people. That's the overall game.
So this is my printed marketing. So now you have social media marketing, you have email marketing, which in your email signature, you should also have a very nice and designed email signature that will have your logo and all that stuff. This is my printed marketing. The one on the very right, I sponsored the Picnic football team, so that's going to be up all year round on the football field. So every football game they have, it's going to be on there. That's a smaller version of a billboard, I guess. What are they called? Where's this thing? What are those called? The football one. Banner? Banner. Yes, thank you. So that's a banner. That's my yard sign. So I use the good old-fashioned sticking in the ground yard sign because I live in the boonies, so my listings are in the boonies. They want to charge me their regular fee plus $25 to come out to the boonies. So I'll just take it out there and shove it in the ground. Not necessarily myself, but we have, you know, somebody on the team who's going to do that. We have postcards that maybe go out. We have open house flyers, and that is the photo. That is my actual business card. So my business card is a big fat photo of me, my name, and then my information is on the back. Okay. I just want everybody under the moon to know who I am and what I do for a living. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Good. Okay. Cool. Google's Bootcamp. This one is, you probably saw it on social media. Everything that I teach is in a boot camp we created in three different series. I don't know my math, and pretty much broken down all the apps, all the numbers, everything that I use is in there. Cool. Any questions? Yes.
Do you use any apps that actually post stuff for you? Or
No.
do you do it all?
I don't recommend it. I think it's, and I also don't necessarily log in to see the times of, like, you know, what times people check this or that. I just post whenever I have the inspiration to talk about something. And the more personal you can make your account, your brand, the more people get to relate to you and they decide to follow you. So, Mark,
Yes.
you want to talk about branding and how you can do that with EXP, signs and places? Because every company is a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying earlier, some companies are pro agent branding, and some are I don't know if the word's insecure, but they just don't want you branding you more than them because they're worried that once you get big enough, you're going to leave them. Which is silly because if you bring enough value, we bring a crazy amount of value to our agents. We're never worried about them leaving. But if you're a company that isn't offering anything of value to your agents and they're drumming up all their own business and all you have to offer is basically space and a computer, well, agents can get that anywhere, and they're eventually going to leave. So there's a few companies out there who allow you to brand yourself. We came to EXP because that was huge for us, that we were still going to be able to brand ourselves as the dominant name, and they were good with that. So the same should be true with you guys, wherever you're at. As long as you can brand yourself with social media, which costs nothing, you guys can do that. But like Gogo said, she's posting 14, 15 times a day. I've scrolled through her stuff. I've never even listened to some of it. Sometimes I'll go through a day and I'll look, and we don't even listen. But she did get in my head because I've seen her on my feed, right? So whether I'm in for a house right now, or maybe my aunt or uncle, it doesn't matter. I see her in my feed every single day. Where else can you do that besides social media? It's huge. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything to get inside of people's head. Now, you want to take it to another level? Start posting some interesting stuff, right? Because we have a lot of friends and family who post all day, every day. And it's just garbage, right? It's not interesting. So some of us just need to become interesting. That's not something I can help you with. You have to figure out for yourself how you're going to become interesting. Whether it's real estate, whether it's personal, but I think it's got to be a combination of both. I see people post too much business, and I see people post all their personal, and nobody even knows you're a realtor. So it's got to be a balance, right? And the good thing about this profession, this industry is everybody's interested in it, right? They have shows on it, right? People watch Millionaire Real Estate Agent. You watch HGTV all day, every day. They got fix and flip shows. They've got people walking through $1 million homes. People find this stuff interesting. You don't even have to have $1 million listing in this business. You can go schedule a preview, just walk through $1 million home. Multi-million-dollar home, right? That's what people want to see. People are intrigued by the life of a realtor. Whether you guys know it or appreciate it or not, they are. But you just have to wrap your mind around the fact that people are interested. Otherwise, there wouldn't be social media, right? Think about what is social media? Social media is there because people are interested in everyone else's business. They're nosy. Yeah, that's what they want to know. They want to know what's going on with your life. Otherwise, you wouldn't have all the followers you have. That doesn't mean they're interested every single day. But Gogo's got how many followers? 20,000, 25,000? 36,000. Keeps growing every day. So imagine being in front of 36,000 people and growing every single day. The best part is that the cost is.
So I created this slide. This is about brand. So for you to understand why you would be doing this. The brand positioning is to stay on top of mind. Do you think everybody watches every freaking 14 videos just like he said of a day that I post? No, they don't. But what they do is they hold this with one eye open just before they're falling asleep and they're like, oh, Gogo, Gogo's a realtor, oh, Gogo's working, oh, Gogo's hustling. Oh yeah, Gogo's a realtor. That's all I'm doing. Is to remind them every day, 15 times a day, that I'm a realtor. So when you need one, call me. So that's your reason. That's why you do it. They're not going to watch every single one of them. That's not your goal. Every single post you make is not going to bring you a lead. That's not your goal. The goal is to remind them and to stay top of mind that you're a realtor. So when they need one, they wouldn't call anybody else but you. And the second is the brand personality. You do have to have a personality. You do have to make it about you. Because if it's not about you again, people choose to work with you because they want to work with you. So So if it's not about you, you're going to lose them. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to follow your brand building. And then last, why do you do it? You do it because we want to get leads. We want to get listings and buy-side transaction. So you do it and you have to figure out, okay, who is my target market? When I did this before EXP, my target market was local. And my target market was sellers. That was my goal. Well, that's changed when I switched to EXP. For many reasons, because EXP allows you to have different revenues of income. So when I was with Real Estate One and when I was with KW, my target market was local, and I thought, even locally, I look at everyone as my potential client. Because I don't know a single human being on this earth that does not need a roof above their head. Everybody at some point is going to have some sort of a real estate need. So your target market is everybody locally. My target market changed a little bit after I switched over because now I don't only sell homes, but now I have a nationwide team, over 65 altogether on my team, but 40 some that I personally sponsor. They're in 36 different states. So now my target market opened up, not just for sales, because now I can target anywhere because I have an agent there who can sell it, but also because now I talk to agents. Because now I love the company that I work with, so of course I'm going to talk about it, and now I'm not limited to location anymore. The agents that I have on my team, Rob and Darian and many of them here, where's Abe? He was just here. Hi. They all happen to be from Michigan, so they can attend this, but most of them are in 36, I think, different states. So then, you're not limited to location. You can do it anywhere. So suddenly your target market just became national and international now with EXP being in Canada, UK, Australia. And United States.
Are you up to 65?
In my downline,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what Gogo's talking about is in EXP to give you residual income for any agents that join. She's taken what she did in social media for buyers and sellers and did it with realtors. You're looking at the fastest growing EXP agent in the country. Meaning nobody's attracted more agents in the shortest amount of time than Gogo.
I couldn't do that, Christy, right there.
So when I took EXP to Gogo, I don't want to make this presentation about EXP, but I'm showing you how you
Just
can do
open
it.
your horizon of how you can use, because there's so much, like my passive income when I started with Real Estate One, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and that was my highest income year when I went to that Tony Robbins seminar, so I thought I'm the in town. Excuse my French, like I was good.
Yeah.
For somebody barely speaking English, I don't have more than a high school education. I mean, I went to 2 more years, but I never went for my bachelor's degree. So for me, being able to do what I get to do in this country, I was like, it's already beyond my wildest dreams I ever had. When I was growing up, I never even thought I would have a car. I just wanted to have a 1-bedroom apartment with a kitchen and a bathroom that was in my name. My garage is bigger. And I built it 13 years ago. You know what I mean? So for me, when I went to that seminar, I realized I'm doing really good in real estate, but guess what? All my eggs were in one basket, and that's commission. So if this ship sinks, my income's going away. So Tony Robbins teaches you the average millionaire has 6 to 7 different ways of income. Only one they trade their time for. The rest of them, it's passive. So when I left that seminar when I have to make myself to have multiple streams of income. So if one crashes, that doesn't mean everything's going down. So now I can say very proudly that I have 11 different ways of income. Yes, most of them are built on my brand that come from social media. You know, I get paid to speak at events. I get paid to mention something. I get paid after my agents. When I refer them, I make a referral. I also get paid for revenue share. Now I have stocks. I have a share in a title company. I mean, I could continue. I own Gogo's Weekend, which is again an information product, which is passive. It's not my time. So there's so many different ways how you can brand yourself, how you can make yourself a name. And Mark could talk to all of the different products you have. I mean, you have management companies and flipping and
Absolutely, residual income. If you know anything about Mark Z, it's all about residual income. I chase buckets of residual income, meaning income that's going to come in whether I work or not. Because it's a crazy life. My brother died when he was 24. I almost died. I got a pacemaker in me. It was a big eye-opener. Anything could happen at any time. Sometimes I think we think that, oh, I don't have anything in my family, we're healthy, we're good. Happens like that. If it hasn't happened to anyone around you, God bless you, you're lucky. But it could at any time. And so we want to leave something behind for our family. And that's where residual income comes in. That's what attracted me to EXP. When I went to GoGo, I said, GoGo, what you're doing with real estate, with the buying and the selling, you could totally do this with realtors. And that's the beauty about social media. You guys follow Grant Cardone? I assure you, nobody even knew who Grant Cardone was 10 years ago. He wrote a book, and he's on social media. You can't go through your Facebook feed or Instagram feed without seeing Grant Cardone. All social media. I mean, he wrote a good book. You remember when it came out? 10X? And we were talking about it. Even before that, he had some other books. Great books. But Grant Cardone blew up from social media. You cannot go through your feed without seeing Grant Cardone. So social media, social media, social media. I got one more tip for you. I'll give it back to GoGo. So Facebook. Are a lot of you guys in groups on Facebook? Different groups? There's a million different groups. Look at a group like a social network. If you guys go to social networkings here, you know, physical places where you go and you network, well, Facebook has that same thing, but you can do it online. And you can be active in these groups, no different than if you're going in person. It's just a matter of getting involved in these groups, because real estate comes up in all of them. So it's just about the amount of content that you contribute. Get involved in more groups, post some content, post helpful tips. There's a hoarder group. Any group you could possibly imagine on Facebook is there. And so if you're not the type of person that's going to go in person to these social networking events, because as realtors, that's what we should be doing, right? Should be networking with people, meeting new people. Because in real estate, either people are calling you or you're calling them. And most of us don't have enough people calling us. I don't. And I guarantee nobody here knows more people than me. And I still don't have enough people calling. So one thing you can do it from your home, you can do it from your car, you can do it from anywhere. Get involved in more social media groups and start delivering valuable content to them.
Yeah. So it's not, don't go something like, hey guys, I'm going to go to
No, you don't need to.
Yeah, no.
You'll automatically
It's just
become.
keep giving.
You'll be the expert in that group.
Things, anything that they may want to know about in the social media market, and by giving them information, you suddenly become the expert. Because unless you have the information, you're giving them something they don't know, which makes you look like you know it. So you become an expert.
Absolutely.
And then they reach out to you.
And there's no reason why you can't start a group. Maybe start a group for your neighborhood. Get everybody involved all in one place. And then you be that local expert. Sure, you can sprinkle some real estate stuff in there. House goes for sale, you post it. House sells, you sell, you put it there. But get other things involved. Garage sale, handyman. Everybody always wants those contacts. You know, a good service provider. There's something called Nextdoor. Is it Nextdoor?
Yeah.
Nextdoor? You guys all use Nextdoor? If you don't, you should. That's a great resource. And everybody uses that for, oh, I just had a great window cleaner come by. He was great. That's a great place where you can participate. But you can do that all with Facebook too. There's a million of these groups. You just got to touch more people. You got to get yourself in front of more people every day.
I forgot to mention, Google My Business is very, very, very important. And feedback and reviews on Google My Business is even more important. Because the more reviews you have, the higher and faster you're going to pop up on Google when somebody even just looks in Google. Okay? Your goal is to be able to be found very, very easily and the quickest access to you so they can call you, list the house, sell it, on to the next. So the few things is your www.com, get that very first. That should be your first thing. And anything else you do, you can build it off of that website. You can just keep adding on tabs to that website. So if you decide to have a coaching program, you add it on. If you decide to have a management company, you add it on. If you decide to, whatever you decide to do it always off of your .com. And your name on every platform should be the same. So that's GoDaddy. So go on GoDaddy and figure it out. After that, go on all of the different social media platforms and figure out that version, save it for yourself, and change your photo, and you're good to go.
Or Gmail. You can use Gmail too.
Yeah. And you can own your email address then off of your website. So after you created your .com, You can, I think it's $5 a month per email address that I pay. So Christie's is Christie@gogosrealistic.com, assistant@gogosrealistic.com, support@gogosweekend.com. So whatever we do is always off of my.com. So then, when you're sending an email, then you look professional, and they know exactly who you're talking to. So you have a lot of homework to set up. So the 10 series of classes we're going to do are feed off from one, you know, the kind of feed off. We start you with like what you need to make sure you have going on, and then we build off of that all the way up to how to build a team, how to have residual income, all that stuff. Okay, so make sure you get it done before next Tuesday, because the next Tuesday I'll go into social media. So then I'll break it down, the do's and don'ts of social media. Okay.
So once you have this brand, what are you going to do with it? That's the next question, right? It starts with one house, one neighborhood at a time. Go pick a neighborhood and own it. And then it spreads from there. That's what I do.
And I have agents are like, well, then so-and-so already owns that neighborhood. Really?
Nobody owns a neighborhood.
Nobody owns a neighborhood. The way they own that neighborhood, you can take it away from them just the way they built it.
Absolutely. Because what happens is a lot of these realtors who have a big presence, they start dialing down. They're not as active anymore. They start taking it for granted. And agents actually shy away from those neighborhoods. Start with your own neighborhood. Your own neighborhood, at least a few people know you there, right? If you don't live in a neighborhood, you live in a street, okay, start with that street. Maybe the street behind you and the street ahead of you. Mailing is cheap.
One of the cheapest things that work like crazy for me is, I don't know if everybody has children. Do you have children? Yeah. So sponsor the little football league, the little soccer league, the little field trip. And what I used to do is literally take water bottles, go to Costco, buy water bottles, and it costs you $6 to get 24 water bottles, get 2 of those. Ooh, go crazy, $12. You know what I mean? And then you print your cute little labels and you put it on the water bottle. I literally sticking it onto the water bottle. You cannot put it over the label of the water bottle, by the way. You cannot find nutritional information on anything that you do. But that's the easiest way and the cheapest way of like ending your business card out. And you do that at every soccer game. And suddenly they all know you're a realtor. Or you bring juice boxes, or you bring whatever you want to bring. Something that's cheap and you can reach a lot of people with. That's your easiest way of reminding them week after week at every soccer game that you're a realtor. And then maybe you have an awesome listing that you just hit the market. When you take it to your soccer game and give it out with that bottle and say, by the way, I don't know if any of you are interested, but here's an awesome listing in this area that just came on the market that people know they're shopping here, so that you can sell it for yourself. It's really like there's so many different opportunities that you can keep selling yourself, like shove it down on their throat.
Yeah, most people don't know.
Yeah.
Just like you don't know what they do. If you think about your kid's soccer team, football team, you don't know what all those parents do. But everybody should know what you do.
The other thing I did one year that I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, was $250 to sponsor my kid's baseball team. Rich said, Go-Go's Real Estate and my phone number on the back for the whole season. The 24 kids or 12 kids, how many are on the baseball team?
Yeah.
For $250, guys. You
And
know,
it's a great way to give back.
and then you see it on the day for the whole season. Like they don't have a chance. The parents, every time they do the laundry, I'm like, Go-Go. You know, it's like, oh. So it's like you just find ways of like just multiply your parent. And those are the easiest ways. And they're local. It's happening. Good?
Absolutely. Last thing I'll leave you with, we were talking about residual income. This is what I was talking about. So when I brought this opportunity to Go-Go, and she's talking about residual income, this is exactly what I was talking about. Last time I talked to my financial advisor, he said, this was a couple of years ago, he said in order to make enough money that you can even think about retiring, you're going to need about $3,000 a month. People now live off Social Security, which is around $1,000 a month, give or take, maybe $1,500. With inflation, you're going to need around $3,000 a month. Okay? So
Assuming that your mortgage is paid up by then.
yeah, that too. Now, in order to have $3,000 a month, what he told me was I was going to have to save $900,000. Okay? Does everybody here have $900,000 saved? No? Yeah, no shot. Of course, nobody does, right? $900,000. The reason why I say $900,000 is because At 4% interest, if you take 4% interest, that's $36,000. You can take 4%, $36,000 from that $900,000, and you can live off it for about 20 years. Okay? You stop working when you're about 60, 65. You take 4% a year, 36,000, you live about 20 years, 25 years off of that. Okay? The alternative is, and I thought this was much easier. Every brokerage model that you're in starts off like this. They start off with international, then from there they build regions. From the regions they build franchises. Then they take a bunch of offices. And then there's us, the agents. All the money trickles all the way back up to here. EXP comes along. This is what I seen. EXP comes along, and what they did was they said, we're going to eliminate all this. We're going to go in the cloud, and we're going to go straight from here and make the agents all owners. Crazy, right? That's the model of every cloud-based business. Uber, the largest taxi cab provider in the world, they don't own one single taxi. Airbnb, largest hotel provider in the world now, they don't own one single hotel. Amazon, largest retail in the world, they don't own any of their products. Everything's in the cloud. So EXP came to the real estate world and said, we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to own any of the offices. We're not going to have any regions, no franchises, no offices. Their offices are in the cloud, which means they can house 200,000 agents. How much more does it cost every time they need more office? Zero, nothing. They did all this. And this is what I showed GoGo. I said you can save $900,000, or you bring 6 agents, EXP pays you $2,800, which equals, I think it's 15,800, 400 maybe, 400. You bring 6 agents, EXP pays you 3.5% of all of their commission, up to $2,800. Okay? Can you bring 6 agents over maybe 3 years? 2 agents a year? Is that possible?
I can.
You can bring 65. But if you can bring 2 agents a year for 3 years, and then let's say that those 6, each one brings 1 agent. Just 1 agent. EXP says, these people will give you $3,200 for every one of these agents. That comes out to $19,000. You add those two together, $35,800 the rest of your life.
Year after year.
Year over year after year. If you just bring in 6 agents, who each bring in 1. 12 total. What's crazy is, this is level 1, this is level 2, they pay you 7 levels deep. This is just 2 levels, $35,000 the rest of your life. So for me, for GoGo and 21,000 other agents, we seen this and said, I think that's probably more likely than saving up $900,000. Everybody that's in real estate Hasn't somebody at one time asked you or told you that they want to get into real estate? All the time, right? Everybody wants to be a realtor. I just had my cousin, he just left here. He went to med school, went through 15 years of school. Everyone that works here knows. He's dragging his feet. He finally had to go and start his residency. He wanted to be a realtor. He was scared he was going to disappoint his parents. Everybody knows Alex. He was doing a lot of my social media. He wanted to be a realtor. He did not want to be a doctor.